for by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. By NYU Langone Orthopedics. And by Buick. Visit tristatebuick.com for great lease offers. Well, a sunsplash day has turned to cloud cover here in Seattle, Washington. We'll take a look at tonight's Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. And leading off, it's Brett Gardner, the hero last night. In center field, Gary Sanchez in the 2-hole, followed by Aaron Judge and Matt Holliday. Starlin Castro protected by Didi Gregorius, who has been red hot of late. Todd Frazier starts at third base again. He bats seventh. Chase Headley gets another start at first. He will hit eighth. And Clint Frazier in the lineup tonight to round out the Yankees order.
Here we get a look at young Andrew Moore, rookie pitcher for the Mariners, going to take on the Yankees tonight. Not your prototypical size either, 5'11", pretty average. You know, it's after my own heart. Hard to get drafted nowadays unless you're 6'8", but you see on the season, good control. Let's go ahead and tell you a little bit more with our pitcher scatter report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And he is a true Northwest native. He was born in Oregon, was an Oregon State All-American for 2 years before being drafted by the Mariners. And he is a strike thrower. We said that throughout his whole career. That's his trademark. Only 2 walks all year so far. And pretty much a 4-pitch mix. A low 90s fastball, curve, slider, and a pretty good changeup. Contact type pitcher, more finesse than power.
Take a look at the defense behind him, presented by Geico. Across the outfield, Ben Gamble, Guillermo Heredia, the 4th outfielder for Seattle, getting the start in center. Mitch Haniger, good infield with Seager, Segura, Cano, Danny Valencia, and then Mike Zunino, who catches Andrew Moore. Gardner blasted his 16th home run of the year yesterday in the 6th inning to break a 0-0 tie, as Felix Hernandez had been dealing and allowed just 1 hit to that point. And he takes strike 1. Does it look like Brett's growing a little bit of a mustache, maybe? Something growing there a little bit, maybe? Starting to come in?
We're going to have to key in on that and take a look.
We're going to have to examine it over the next couple days as Gardner takes that for a ball. Here's a 1-2. Grounded to short, to second. Cano across his body makes the play for the first out of the first. And now we will take a look at the game time weather presented by City MD. Feeling under the weather? Just walk into City MD Urgent Care. 72 degrees. Not much of a wind. There was a bright beaming sun all day, but now overcast here on another comfortable summer night in Seattle. In what has been, up until this point, their 33rd straight day without any precipitation. Here's Gary Sanchez, 3 for his last 20. And he takes low ball 1. Sanchez skies that to center field. Heredia underneath it, waiting for it to come down for out number 2.
Just missed that one. A good swing from Gary right there. A fraction of an inch on the launch angle right there. You can tell the disappointment on his face, but it's perfectly timed and just a little bit under it.
Maybe a better sign, as Marcus Timms was talking about yesterday, him staying middle rather than getting a little pull happy, which they felt like he had been a bit lately.
Yeah, especially off speed, way out in front a lot.
Judge looks at strike 2 as that catches the outside corner.
Andrew Moore, as advertised, right? Works fast, throws strikes. Be ready to hit.
Goodbye. A 1-2-3, 9-pitch first inning as Moore works swiftly through the top of the Yankees order. Turn as we take a look at the Mariners starting lineup. Gene Segura will lead off the shortstop. Meanwhile, Danny Valencia moves up to the 2-hole for this contest. Robinson Cano bats 30 at 3 hits last night. Nelson Cruz in the cleanup spot. Kyle Seager bats 5th. Mitch Haniger, the rookie right fielder, in the 6th spot. Guillermo Heredia bats 7th. Ben Gamble moves from 2 in the order down to 8. Mike Zunino in the 9-hole for Seattle.
See the big lefty on the mound here in Seattle. On the season, pretty solid across the board. 3.54 ERA. This will be a 16th start of the season. And let's go ahead and tell you a little bit more in our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And everybody's mentioned it, so I'm going to jump on board. Happy 37th birthday for the big fella. And home away from home. Boy, he loves pitching here at Safeco Field. He's 9-1 with a 2.09 ERA here in 13 games started. It's the second lowest ERA of any opposing pitcher to Dan Herron at 2.0. And Cy Young next. Well, he's 7 Ks away from tying Cy Young for 21st on the all-time K list.
Pretty outstanding company as Segura tips that foul for strike 1.
It's a nice name to pass in the books.
Yeah, right. Well, a lot of times I feel like as you climb the charts, that's what it becomes, right? Not necessarily the number where you rank, but the names you pass. That gives you the context. Sabathia coming off an outstanding start in Boston. Went 6 innings, allowed just 2 hits and no runs. And ahead 1-2 on Segura.
Good change up there for Sabathia. Really, it's about contact management for Sabathia nowadays. Formerly the power pitcher, and you see right there, boy, he left me in the dust a long time ago. Cy Young's a much better name to pass.
Pretty good names to be around, though, David. That's fought off over first. Headley started in, but makes the over-the-shoulder catch for the first down. And we will take a look at the defense behind Sabathia, presented by Geico. In the outfield, Clint Frazier gets the start in left, Gardner in center, Judge in right, Todd Frazier at third, Didi Gregorius at short, Castro at second. We just saw Chase Headley make that nice play at first. Gary Sanchez catches CC Sabathia. Here is Danny Valencia. We talk about the contact management for CC. He's 7th in the American League when it comes to soft contact percentage.
Yeah, well, that's the idea, right? For the pitcher, the hitter wants to hit the ball hard. The pitcher wants to keep that from happening. A good sign early here with a good changeup that Sabathia is going to need here against these right-handed batters in the Seattle lineup.
Swing and a miss. Strong start for CC, who was retired the first 2.
It's a good formula. Soft away, and then let's go hard in. And at 89 miles an hour, maybe a little cut spin, more like a 4-seamer there, as you see Sanchez set up in off the plate, but Sabathia just beat Valencia right there after the soft changeup.
We saw CC hit 95 a couple times in that start at Fenway. He said it's in there, but maybe once every other start, once a game. Obviously, that's not a regularity anymore.
I think he has made a change. You know, all the talk about learning the cutter from Andy Pettit, you know, last year and the year before. When you come inside to righties like we just saw, four-seamer at 89 to 92 is plenty if you set it up.
Behind his good friend Robinson Cano, 2-0. Robbie 5 for 18 all time against Sabathia. There was that start against Boston. And afterwards, even though it was 6 shutout innings, of course, CC pointed to the walks.
I thought some of those walks were well placed, though, and that's a sign of a good veteran pitcher, not giving in and pitching around some big bats.
Great delivery there, 2-2.
Sabathia takes a little bit off of this slider. The speed more than the location fools Cano.
And the count full on Cano with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Shift is on against Cano. See, that's Todd Frazier on the right side of second base. Didi Gregorius stays at shortstop, playing about a step more towards the middle. And that's inside. Cano walks, and that'll set up a 2-out base runner for Nelson Cruz. Little flinch there for a moment from Rob Drake, but ball 1.
The big time power once again from Cruz, sitting on 20 home runs.
And he may have just hit 21. Going back, Frazier looking up, it's off the wall. Frazier will fire into third. Sticking at first with a single is Cruz. So a loud single off the bat of Nelson Cruz. And runners on first and third with 2 outs.
Yeah, this is absolutely scalded on a pitch middle at the belt. Very fortunate for the Yankees and Sabathia that this was a line drive. Not enough height to get out of here.
Cruz had been battling a sore right knee, which is why you saw him kind of jogging down to first there. As Seager takes strike 1. So 2 quick outs from Sabathia, and then the walk to Cano. The loud single from Cruz, trying to retire Seager. Off the glove of Headley, Castro fields, fires back to Headley, not in time, as Headley did not get back to the bag. Scoring is Cano, and the Mariners take a 1-0 lead.
See Rob Thompson on the horn trying to get a look on the replay. Headley made a nice recovery, but no, you can see the second stab with the foot to try to get there. A great recovery to this point. Just couldn't find the bag. Boy, still very close.
They score that a base hit and an RBI for Seager.
Oh. Multitasking for an inexperienced first baseman, tougher than you think. Find the throw and the bag after diving.
And out to line drive, base hit to right. Judge will field and fire in. Cruz isn't going to test that arm. But 3 straight 2-out hits after the walk to Cano. And the base is now loaded here in the first.
Yeah, all off of the 2-out walk. You see that's a get-ahead fastball on a first pitch, middle away. Excellent job of hitting. Well, another fortunate break for the Yankees that Cruz, as you said, cannot run right now very well. Sabathia would do very well to get out of this with 1 run if he can escape with an out here.
Here's strike 1 on the inside corner to Heredia. Sabathia trying to limit the damage after 4 straight base runners have reached with 2 outs. Strike 2. Change up outside. Chop to third. Frazier will go to second, and that will end the inning. So the Mariners push 1 across, but leave the bags full. 1-0 Seattle as we go to the second. Brought to you by Toyota. Prius Prime is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. We've asked on Twitter, who do you think will be the Yankees' most important relief pitcher over the rest of 2017 and why? The answer from Moorings 42, Chapman, because he's the closer and needs to be right. The others setting him up can be mixed and moved around. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using the hashtag Yankees Prius Prime to keep the conversation going. What do you think, David? Is that the right answer? Aroldis Chapman being the most important reliever the rest of the way?
You know, I would have said yes before the recent trade. Now you've got some coverage with Robinson down there now, back. Canely. So you've got a lot of depth down there. Probably have 3 or 4 potential closers in the emergence of Chad Green as well.
And Joe Girardi was asked earlier today, was there any concern about Chapman with the way he struggled again last night a little bit? And he said, on the long term, you know, the far out view, no. But in the immediate micro, yeah, there still is some concern just to make sure we get him right. Holiday needed that, a smoke single up the middle, trying to break out of what was a 3 for 32 road trip.
Well, be ready to swing the bat when you have a strike thrower on the mound, and Holiday is. Cano playing on the right side of second base, not a full shift there, and Holiday takes advantage.
Here's Castro, 0 for 4 last night. So David, yesterday we were talking a lot about spin rate, and Andrew Moore is a guy who's known for having great spin rate on his fastball. So 91 ends up looking more like 94 or 95 sometimes.
But yeah, that's where the deception comes in, along with the delivery. And a high glove side, a little bit of tilt in his delivery, really throws his left side, his left arm and glove side, as we say, high in the air, which creates a little deception. First thing I pay attention to is the front side, the glove side. See how high, kind of almost above his head with his glove, which can be distracting for a hitter. And what that also does is create leverage. You can see the tilt in his delivery, almost Andy Pettit like. And that creates a lot of leverage to be able to pull down with that glove side.
Castro bounces it towards short. Segura will take it himself, and the double play is executed. 6-6-3.
Well, Moore's not known as a ground ball pitcher, but he got one here at the right time. Just couldn't have been more perfect for a pitcher. Segura unassisted.
Moore is a guy the Mariners are high on, a second-round pick in 2015. He's had really strong numbers at the minor league level. Local guy, as far as the Pacific Northwest goes, went to Oregon State. So he grew up in Oregon.
He moved up fast. He started last year, 2016, in high A ball.
Right.
So last year at this time, I think he was probably making the jump to Double A, and every step of the way, he just pushed his way through.
You see, he was the number 6 prospect in the Mariners system entering this season.
It's always been questioned along the way, especially the pro career. You know, you don't have enough swing and miss ability, and you don't. Not a strikeout guy. You're only 5'11". Well, all he does is just throw strikes.
Eventually, when you keep getting guys out, you get your chances. Gregorius is 6 for his last 10 over the last 3 games. And he smokes that into left center field, a base hit with 2 outs. You can tell right now he is just locked in.
Yeah, when Didi starts getting hits the other way on pitches out over the plate like that, that's a great sign for him. We know how quick he is middle in on fastballs, especially at Yankee Stadium. Didi, an uber aggressive hitter. He's not looking to walk.
Todd Frazier singled and scored in the 9th inning, his first Yankees hit. In yesterday's 4-1 win. Just missed it as he pops it up behind the plate into the seats. Strike one.
You're right. That was a good swing. It'll be interesting as we get another look at this swing. Boy, right down the middle, even a little bit in. Perfect pitch to launch, and that's what Frazier was trying to do. But John Sterling, when Frazier hits his first home run, it's going to be interesting to see what his call is, because there's 2 Fraziers on this roster.
That's right. And he's been using downtown goes Frazier for Clint. Meredith Marakovitz did a little digging on that, and John said he was keeping it very close to the vest. He had something planned for Todd, but and there's John. Did not want to reveal what it was going to be. Yankees fans would love to find out what John Sterling's call is right now.
And the 2-1.
Caught the outside corner, 2-2. Didi just hops back.
Pretty quick feet for Moore.
Jeff Quagliata, the head of our research department, he has a suggestion of what it should be for Sterling. Frazier has left the building, like the TV show.
Yes, there you go.
He might be onto something there. That sounds very John-like. Frazier pops it up a mile high and foul ground off of third, where Seager will put it away to end the inning. So a couple of singles sandwiched by a double play. Unlimited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. A couple of prospects traded for each other today. Marco Gonzalez heads to Seattle, and Tyler O'Neill goes to the Cardinals. An outfield prospect for a pitching prospect.
Controllable contracts, as they say in today's game. General managers are looking for that.
Marco Gonzalez has had a couple of sniffs of the big leagues. Eight, 9, and 1 for Seattle. And Gamble looks at strike one. Mariners were 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position in that first inning after they went 2 for 14 last night. But only 1 run pushed across as Sabathia left the bases loaded. Gamble, I guess, pulled the bat back.
I guess.
Yeah.
Let's take another look. Not a bad idea from Gamble, and well, okay. Self-preservation. Gamble's been quite a story out here for the Mariners. Got caught up in a logjam in the Yankee system. He was an International League MVP a couple of years ago. So really earned his way up. And finally has a chance to get some at-bats out here.
And if it wasn't for Aaron Judge, he would be one of those guys being heavily talked about as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate. Jordan Montgomery would have been getting some love in that conversation as well. It was a payoff. Went off speed and it was just nicked foul by Gamble.
Gamble broke in with the Yankees. One of the best Twitter feeds I followed was Ben Gamble's hair on Twitter. He's letting it flow out here.
It stays alive. That's like the first thing you do when you leave the Yankee organization, right? You grow the hair and the beard.
It was right up there with Eduardo Nunez's helmet. On follow on Twitter, you know, his helmet always came off when he ran.
And it still does. Is that account still active?
I believe it is. I haven't checked.
It's about to get some more followers. That's ripped into left center field. Gardner twisted and turned and has to chase. Gamble rounding second. He's thinking about 3. Now Gregorius will make sure he hangs on at second with a leadoff double here in the second.
Well, he battled to stay alive at 3-2, and then finally Sabathia gives in and gives him something on the inside middle part of the plate, and he hammers it. A loud sound off the bat. It almost snaked away from Gardner. Very hard. You see Gardner here. Line drive, a little bit of a hesitation, and the ball sliced on him a bit. When you hit the ball on the button, it has less spin on it. It's more prone to kind of knuckle on you out there. Yes.
Yeah, you could see Gardner almost didn't know which way to turn. That ball was scalded on the 8th pitch of that at bat. So here's the number 9 hitter, Mike Zunino. Just missed off the outside corner.
Yeah, if you look real hard, you know, you can see Edgar Martinez's influence on that swing, the batting stance, the style. Edgar, one of the best right-handed hitters I ever faced. I think Yankee fans remember well.
He was one guy that always hit Mo well also. He's going to have his jersey retired here later this summer. Seven-time All-Star, most home runs, 243 home runs as a DH, third most home runs.
Well, that's the debate for the Hall of Fame, right? Should DHs be in the Hall of Fame? As he was a Hall of Fame offensive player.
I would say in his case, yes. Two batting titles, 7 All-Stars, led the league in on-base percentage 3 times. A career OPS of .933. Boy, CeCe is really having a battle with 2 strikes, back-to-back hitters now.
Yeah, he's having a hard time putting hitters away. See the pitch count climbing, pitch number 37 coming. So, you know, what you need is some early contact, ground balls early in the count. But when he's got the 2 strikes, you've seen him have a hard time finding a pitch that will end the at-bat.
Again, Zunino stays alive. David, how frustrating does that get as a pitcher when you feel like you're making quality pitches and they're just being fought off pitch after pitch?
Yeah, a lot of fastballs in to right-handed batters. Haven't really seen that good slider tonight yet. Sabathia hasn't broken it out where he can backdoor it and get a called 3rd strike on righties.
This will be the 8th pitch of this at-bat. Tried it that time, but it did not tilt enough.
Yeah, he hasn't got a feel for that pitch as of yet, and it's a pitch he needs.
So after an 8-pitch at bat that ended in a double for Ben Gamel, Sabathia about to throw the 9th pitch of this at bat to Zunino. That is lifted in the air to left. Long run for Frazier. He dives and makes the play. Outstanding catch from the rookie outfielder.
Well, indeed. I mean, this looks like another slider that hangs a bit. And Frazier with a great jump and a full-out dive. Young athleticism on display. No eyewash there. Needed every bit of that dive to make that play. Thank you very much.
He is just a noticeable athlete. We even saw it on a ball the other day, David, in right field in Cleveland, where he twisted the wrong way and then was able to leap and make an incredible catch.
I mean, we knew he had 5 tools, but his speed has really kind of opened some eyes. Not only running the bases, but in the outfield paying off. And that's why he was such a highly touted prospect, because when you talk about prospects, you talk about tools, and how many do you have? You know, and he's got all 5: speed, power. Haven't really seen his throwing arm enough yet to judge it. Bat speed and foot speed are there.
Girardi was talking about that the other day, David, how the speed is something you maybe can't fully appreciate until you watch a guy every single day like they've been able to do now with Frazier.
This is what you call a young kid coming up and forcing his way in to the pitcher.
Sabathia behind Segura, 3-1. See the pitch count elevating in the 2nd after the long at bats from Gamel and Zunino. Segura chased a high fastball, 3-2.
Well, Segura has always been a little bit over aggressive at times. On a 3-1 pitch, clearly ball 4.
Fourth full count of the night thus far against Sabathia. The payoff. Grounded to short. Gregorius will go to third. Heads up play, and Gamble is tagged out. Great decision from Didi Gregorius and perfect execution.
Indeed, there's no margin for errors. You see Gamble takes off right away. And it took that kind of play from Didi. You got to get it and get rid of it. A little snap throw. It's got to be on the money. Check all the boxes. See the helmet fly off, so you get a good look at Ben Gamble's hair right there. The hair made the wrong choice.
So 2 big defensive plays back to back, and now a runner on first with 2 outs. As Sabathia will try and capitalize on that against Valencia.
Been the one pitch Sabathia could go to is that fastball inside. It saved him. Looks to me like, you know, as I said before, he's having a little trouble with his slider, and his changeup's kind of cutting a little bit as well. Kind of been hard to read. Was that a changeup or a slider? And Sabathia's talked about that in the past, and changing his grip and making sure that his changeup doesn't cut. It's almost like a double cross. It goes the opposite way you're trying to.
Runner goes as that's fouled off.
Well, Sabathia basically a 3-pitch pitcher, you know, fastball that'll cut at times, slider and a changeup, and trying to find that one secondary pitch that you can get going early in the game. Pitch number 49 here in the 2nd inning coming. Another 0-2 count, trying to put another hitter away here. Veteran pitcher like Sabathia, you can get out of this, and it comes to you along the way. You kind of find it. So much experience on the mound, you never panic.
Grounded weakly right back to CC. He will throw to first and end the inning. Good changeup there from Sabathia, and some nice defense from the Yankees in that 2nd. That is your #1 mobile app for live Yankees baseball. Stay connected with a fully customized experience. Get Yankees home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com At Bat today. That kid is going to tell his dad about MLB At Bat. Headley pokes that into left center field. Long run for Heredia. He can't make the play. Headley on his horse to second. And he will break it down there with a lead-off double.
We talked about Headley's turnaround, hitting the ball much harder again. His left-handed swing's been really solid all year long. That ball is smoked. Over his last 30 games, he's batting .317 is Chase Headley, and that's going to add to it. And good effort.
#21st double this season for Headley. It sets things up for Clint Frazier, batting 9th tonight. Frazier helped redirect the momentum for CC Sabathia in that second inning, making an outstanding full body length diving catch in left field with a runner on second and nobody out. And now he drives this in the air to right center field and deep. Heredia back, looking up, it's off the wall. Headley rounding third. Now he's headed home. It's going to be a close play, and Headley is just safe. Frazier will hang on at second with an RBI double. And it's a 1-1 game.
Okay, first things first. A lot to dissect here. Great swing. Powered the other way. Man on second, nobody out. Clint Frazier's thinking the other way. Yeah, that's not just getting him over. He's trying to get him in. The only question is over the wall or off the wall, and it's off the wall. And here, this is kind of a hesitation as Chase Headley probably held up a bit, trying to see maybe if that ball was going to be caught. That was going to be caught, but that was a lot closer at home than that needed to be. Nonetheless, RBI double for Clint Frazier.
Now Gardner cracks that to center field and deep. This time Heredia will have room. Frazier tags. Frazier will take off for third. Heredia has a cannon, and Frazier is just safe on the aggressive play.
Well, you called it, Ryan. I mean, that's aggressive. That's the right play. Love it from Clint Frazier. That's a big part of his game. Base running speed. I didn't think Heredia had that kind of an arm. I do now. That is fairly deep out there. And watch this. He unloads. A little one hop, just a little bit wide, but the base running to Clint Frazier. And I love the slide, too. Feet first, hard, pop-up slide. Impressive slow throw from Heredia. All the way around, impressive from Clint Frazier.
Clint Frazier is making every contribution loud and felt, looking like he, of course, belongs. As Sanchez got under that, pops it up. It will make the seats. Here's the slide you're talking about, David.
Yeah, baseball player right here. That's how you're supposed to slide. Straight in, spikes up, and pop up. Good athlete. Fusing some energy, much needed energy in this Yankees lineup.
Clint Frazier doesn't want to go anywhere.
You just want to see more, don't you? I mean, when he first came up, we kind of watched his swing, and he came off his back foot, and we thought, hey, maybe he needs a little more work. But I give a lot of credit to Alan Cockrell, the Yankees hitting coach, under the radar, really good hitting coach. What he's done with Aaron Judge, quickly with Clint Frazier. We don't talk about him a lot. But, I've known Alan Cockrell since high school. We were high school football mates back in Missouri. Joplin, Missouri was where Alan Cockrell's from. University of Tennessee quarterback, first freshman, true freshman to start at Tennessee. Alan Cockrell's been around. Was actually the hitting coach here in Seattle for a couple of years, but he's done a great job for the Yankees.
When you talk to Yankees hitters, they talk about Alan Cockrell with such reverence. The way he's able to connect with them, individualized language for each hitter.
Yeah, we both were quarterbacks in high school, Alan Cockrell and I, and played in an all-star football game together.
Now, who was the better quarterback as Sanchez walks?
He was, big time. He was the first true freshman to start at the University of Tennessee. And ended his Tennessee, had a major knee injury when he was at Tennessee that freshman year. Worked his way back. Finished on a strong note. He beat Boomer Esiason's Maryland team in the first Florida Citrus Bowl back in 1983. So, yeah, he was a better quarterback.
The Laredo screen passes weren't outgunning Cockrell.
No. Cockrell was a legendary quarterback in high school and college. And also a baseball player, obviously. #1 draft by the Giants.
Here's some "Let's Go Yankees" chants here in Seattle as Judge steps to the plate, and all 5 Yankees this inning have swung at the first pitch. The first 3 making good contact. Sanchez fouling it straight back. Judge fouling it straight back.
Well, this is how you have the potential for a big inning, when the bottom of the order gets something going, and now here comes the big boppers with a chance to do damage.
2 on, 1 out. 1-2. Judge 1 for 3 yesterday with a walk and an RBI single. Joe Girardi said he's started to show some signs of coming out of that little mini slump to begin the second half between his last start in Cleveland and last night's game. Behind 1-2 here. 2-2.
Thought the Red Sox pitched him very, very tough in that 5-game series, or 4-game series rather, doubleheader, the split doubleheader on Sunday. Got robbed of a home run by Jackie Bradley Jr.
Good take there, and the count is full.
It's a good eye, as this is just off the plate. We've seen Aaron Judge do this all year long. As you can see, that was 4 or 5 inches away.
Here's the payoff. Judge hits that in the air to center field and deep. Heredia back on the track, has room, makes the catch. Frazier tags and will score, and it is a long sacrifice fly for Aaron Judge to give the Yankees a 2-1 lead.
Well, good job by Judge. This is a changeup, and that's what got him off the end just a hair. You can tell by his head down and body language, he knows he just missed that. But if you can stay on a changeup like that and still drive it that far when you miss it, that shows you how strong he is.
Still a job well done as he gets Frazier in from third. And Frazier's aggressive base running paying off in the Yankees' second run. When you stroke a double, it's always fun to then relive it with the hitting coach in the dugout after.
Yeah, well, your 8 and 9 hole hitters go double-double, and then here comes the top of the order.
Holiday loops that to second. It'll be the first baseman, Valencia, who will make the catch on the right side of the infield, but the Yankees score 2 to take a 1-run lead. brought to you in part by People's United Wealth Management, ready to help you set tomorrow in motion. By City MD, when you need a doctor, just walk into City MD Urgent Care. And by your Tri-Honda dealers, hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2017 models. A gorgeous summer evening in Seattle. The Yankees scored 2 in the top of the third to take a 2-1 lead. And we will get the Jeep Hitter scouting report for Robinson Cano.
Well, yes, you know, well known, Robbie. He's still got that same pure swing the Yankee fans fell in love with. And a big power year last year, 39 home runs, 18 so far this year. And I guess the question is, Robbie's not done. Is he heading to Cooperstown?
Right back to Sabathia. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the third. I think the answer to that is yes, David.
Yeah, I think he already ranks as one of the best all-time second basemen. Jay Jaffe, who created the JAWS system on Baseball Reference and that you can find, ranks him right now as the 9th best second baseman of all time.
And that's with years left.
Yes.
One of the things Joe Girardi was talking about in regard to him, David, is his toughness and the durability. It's a guy who shows up and plays every single day now for a decade.
When you talk about modern day second baseman, the best one is probably Joe Morgan. He's ranked number 4 on the list. On number 1, Rogers Hornsby, all-time great second baseman. The guy on that list, Rod Carew, number 6. The guy that should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, Bobby Grich. Underrated, undervalued. Hope he gets a second look by the Veterans Committee. But Bobby Grich was a great player.
Look out. Grich, of course, spending his career with the Orioles and the Angels. A lot of great second basemen in the American League in the 70s and 80s. Willie Randolph, Frank White, Lou Whitaker.
Yeah, Willie Randolph's career numbers, really impressive. Same with Lou Whitaker, the guy you mentioned. Trammell and Whitaker. Quite a combination in Detroit for all those years in the 80s. That guy right there, Robinson Cano's now 34 years old. Got a lot of time left before he's done. He's going to punch a ticket in Cooperstown.
Just high and away, and Sabathia walks Cruz. 1 out base runner here for Seattle. David, you mentioned the numbers from Willie Randolph. The thing that blows my mind, and I just happened to be looking this up a couple days ago for some reason. I don't even remember why. The guy had twice as many walks as strikeouts in his career.
Willie was an all-around ball player, team captain too, people forget, for a couple of years. 5-time All-Stars you see there, and all the championships. Defense, base running, handle the bat.
That caught the hand of Seager. He is hit by the pitch and now will be tended to.
Another look setting up in, two-seamer. Kind of brings his hands in too. The style of so many hitters nowadays, of kind of leading with the hands and the knob of the bat. Yeah, that hurt. Like maybe you got a little ricochet off the jaw there. Get another look. Yes, right on by, off the knuckles and the jaw. rattle your teeth.
You can see Sabathia was looking over afterwards and acknowledged him, and he acknowledged back. And you see wrist, jaw. So after retiring Cano on one pitch to lead off the third, a walk and a hit batter, and first and second with one out for Mitch Haniger. He takes his strike.
Another 0-2 count for Sabathia. I mean, that really hasn't been the problem so far. It's the third strike, putting him away. See what he does here, if he goes back in or goes back to the slider away.
Sets up in and misses in at 91 miles an hour. Haniger single to right field, his first at bat.
Sabathia is the type of guy you just never panic with. You know he's going to find it. So much experience. Still in a make a pitch mode.
And made one there.
Doesn't need any visits from pitching coaches. You know, he's his own pitching coach. Quality. Looks like a slider there. And slider spin on it goes straight down. Out of the strike zone, right below the zone, over the heart of the plate. Excellent finish pitch. The beauty of Sabathia, I mean, he's been around so long, so much success. Larry Rothschild doesn't need to say anything to him. He's going to figure it out on his own out there. And nice adjustment right there.
That's off Sanchez's glove. Now scampering to third is Cruz, and on to second goes Seager. There was a moment of hesitation when Cruz was frozen and Sanchez was looking back, but clearly got far enough to weigh on the wild pitch.
Now Sanchez setting up in, looking in. Play he should have made. No, it was further in than he was anticipating. That's right off of his glove, and that should be a pass ball.
And I wonder if after the second looks if they might change that, but for now it's a wild pitch. In the air to right, Judge there, and that will end the inning. So Sabathia strands two. It's 2-1 Yankees after 3. Big battle with Seattle here at Safeco. Coverage starts at 8:30 with the Chevy Yankees pregame. Then the Yankees take on the Mariners right here on Yes, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. CC Sabathia again able to pitch around some base runners and protecting a 2-1 lead at the top of the 4th inning. Sabathia pitching on his 37th birthday. You see him and Gary Sanchez going over some things. Starling Castro smokes that backhanded diving stop by Seager, and he makes the play to retire Starling Castro.
Well, when you know the pitcher's throwing nothing but strikes, you come out swinging. Another first pitch hack from a Yankee, a slider. Castro makes a bid for a double. Seager had other ideas. Excellent play on the throw all the way. This had double written all over it.
Seager won a Gold Glove a couple of years ago. How about growing up? As you see on the Audi scoreboard, Yankees a 2-1 lead on the Mariners. Seager played on a travel team with Chris Archer, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Alex White. Now White was in the majors 2011, 2012, but you have 4 big league players on your youth travel team?
Stacked.
Didi Gregorius played with some major league talent growing up as well. Andrelton Simmons. Jurickson Profar. Kenley Jansen as well.
Yeah, that's when Kenley Jansen was catching.
Right.
Who knew? We knew he had a good arm. See, I'm going to be a catcher or a pitcher. Yeah, we're going to put you on the mound.
A little bit with Jonathan Scope as well. He played, although he was younger. As Gregorius just stays toasty. Another hit for Didi. He has singled in each of his first 2 at bats, and he is now 8 for his last 12.
Just that fast. Didi turns it around. And a good idea for the Yankees to get more right back in the stretch and put some pressure off of him on him.
Frazier took a couple of good swings his first at bat. Ended up popping out to 3rd. And this time he laces that just foul. Let's find out a little bit more about Didi growing up in Curacao from Meredith Morakovitz.
Well, Ryan, you were talking about some of the other middle infielders that now play in the league, and I asked Didi, why are there so many middle infielders coming out of Curacao? And he just smiled at me and pointed to the field and said, look at this infield dirt. There are a lot of rocks here. It's not the best infield you're ever going to see, so it really makes you be cognizant of the way the ball is coming off the bat. There's a lot of bad bounces, so your reaction time has to get better. It forces you to. And he said maybe that played a little bit of a role.
Frazier flies out to right. So you got to see where Didi grew up in Curacao?
Yes, where he grew up, where he used to play, where he went to high school. He showed me around the entire country. Very beautiful, very proud of where he comes from. But it was interesting when I was there, he was actually teaching some little kids as well, and the way that they look up to Didi and some of the rest of the guys is pretty amazing to see.
And Didi's got such an infectious personality.
Post-game tweets are a thing of beauty.
They are. Got to fire one off last night.
Sir Didi, right?
That's right. The Curacao Little League team always in contention in Williamsport.
Chase Headley that got the rally going last inning. Back up this inning. A booming double.
That'll make the seats. We talked about Didi in Curacao. And you see the baseball fields after that gorgeous scenic. And Meredith went and got to spend a little time in the offseason observing Didi. Him and Andrelton Simmons used to both pitch, and they would throw no-hitters galore. And I asked Didi today, how often do you get to really unload? And he said, I don't think I've made a single throw yet this year where I really fired it as hard as I can. But when he was 17, he was clocked at 95 miles an hour. I said, do you throw harder now? He said, oh yeah, I was 140 pounds. Now I'm 210.
Yeah, we really haven't seen him that challenge yet with maybe a throw from the deep hole.
Headley hits that in the air to right center. Drifting over is Haniger, so is Heredia, and Heredia will make the play for the final out for the top of the fourth. Banquet timeless moment. Remembering back to July 21st, 1988, when the Yankees traded Jay Buhner to the Mariners for Ken Phelps. And Buhner, of course, went on to play 14 seasons in Seattle. And that became the reference trade of George Costanza when he was expressing his consternation during a Seinfeld episode. Or his father, rather, of course, expressing himself. Frank Costanza was George's father, of course. Buhner hit 310 home runs in his career. Still being repped at the ballpark.
Yes.
To the left side, to the right side, left of Castro. He dives, makes the play, and fires in time to Headley for the first out of the inning.
Well, another bid for another hit from Ben Gamble, but Starlin Castro says no. And of course, CC loves it. Thank you. Sabathia needs some quick outs. She approaching 70 pitches here in the fourth.
He's got some nice defensive plays behind him. As you see the way the defense is shifted for Zunino. We saw a great catch by Clint Frazier, heads up play by Didi Gregorius to cut down a runner at third. Now that play from Castro. Headley with a nice over the shoulder catch as well.
Yeah, the Mariners, I guess you could say, maybe have squandered some opportunities early in this game to put more on the board. Only one run so far. Sabathia seems to be getting his secondary pitches going here. Last inning much better, and he's finding his rhythm.
Seattle 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position, but 0 for their last 4. Fisted to shallow center. Gardner dashing in will get to it for the second out. Talked about Jay Buhner, David. Impressive resume. Top 5 in so many major categories in Mariners history. And it always feels like he is a guy Yankees fans remember when they are gun shy about wanting to deal prospects. As I think about that deal, which obviously did not work out in the Yankees' favor. How'd you do against Buhner?
Okay, I mean, I had the platoon advantage, righty on righty. Although he got a big hit off of me in game 5 at 95 to keep that inning going, where eventually I walked Doug Strange with the tying run. Ball 4 to Doug Strange.
Yeah, there you go.
Never mind. Take that back. He was good.
That Seattle lineup was stacked. Trying to get through Griffey and Buhner and Edgar Martinez, Joey Cora.
Yeah, they were a nightmare in the old Kingdome in that series. You talk about loud. How the Seattle sports fans.
Swing and a miss. Tipped into the glove, held onto by Sanchez, and a 1-2-3 inning for Sabathia, his first of the night. cushion that Chris Sale is going to need, Bob, and we will get updates throughout the day from Bob. Take a look at the injury report brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art healthcare. Chris Bryant with a sprained finger on a head-first slide. X-rays were negative. Did not play today against the Cardinals and could miss the entire weekend series. The Cubs have come out of the break red hot. As Frazier hits a towering pop-up behind third. Who's going to make the play? It is Segura for the first out. I was just reading a note from Katie Sharp, who does such an outstanding job, that Clint Frazier became just the second Yankee ever with 9 extra base hits before his 15th career game. And the other, Joe DiMaggio.
That was a big league pop-up. You're right. That had some hang time on it. That was up in the clouds.
Frazier was at second base when that came down.
Telling you, see the look on his face. He knows he just missed it. When you hit it off the barrel, in order to hit it that high, you know you're on the barrel. It's all about launch angles. A little too far under it. Hit it up.
Gardner cracks that to right, a base hit. Sanchez, who took a much better swing on a deep fly ball to center his first at bat, and then walked in the third. Sanchez drills that foul deep down the left field line.
Well, you mentioned it, Ryan. Just about timing, a little bit out in front, especially on off-speed pitches.
Trying to slow down that leg kick a little bit, going fast with it.
Yeah, I mean, it generates so much power, and that leg kick is the timing mechanism.
Sanchez hammers that to left field over a leaping Seager, a base hit. Gardner will round second and go to third. Sanchez takes a wide turn, but will head back to first with a hearted single. And the Yankees are set up with first and third and just one out for Aaron Judge.
Tries to sneak a fastball inside, and Sanchez so quick. Just beats him to the punch. Ben Gamble, nice play to get over there and hold Sanchez to a single, and we'll get the side view on Sanchez's big leg kick. So much power. Tried to get a fastball by him inside. Sanchez clears him out of there.
Judge hit a deep sac fly to center field, his last at bat. And we heard this last time Judge came up as well. The "Let's Go Yankees" chant starting to rise, and then met with the boos from the Mariners fans here in Seattle.
This is what Aaron Judge does to a lot of pitchers, is he kind of pushes them out of the strike zone. That's why his patient approach has worked so well, and he's leading the American League in walks.
Dangerous count here for Moore. The 2-0.
This is the way you're supposed to swing at a 2-0 fastball. Right there.
That is absolutely clobbered. Good gosh, where is that going to land? Oh my, what a bomb from Aaron Judge. Testing the limits of Safeco Field with home run number 31.
OMG. He almost hit it out of the stadium. He took a shot at just hitting it out of the stadium.
David, that was literally the last row of the ballpark.
Another look. Lean back. See a little lean back right off the bat there.
Now Holiday pegs one right off of Moore. He'll make the play.
Majestic is a word that comes to mind. Probably doesn't do it justice. Hanging sliders go a long way. I know from firsthand experience, and that's what that was.
You don't go to the game thinking you're getting a souvenir if you're sitting in that seat.
I think the entire stadium got a view of that one. It was so high. It was up above the upper deck. Incredible. Number 31 passes Giancarlo Stanton, who's been sizzling hot as well, who had caught Judge with his recent hot streak for the major league lead.
He was trying to send it into Quest Field where the Seahawks play, right over the left field wall. Century Link, I should say. That is drilled to left center field. Heredia racing back. Will he get there? They collide, but the catch is made as Gamble and Heredia converged in left center. But this inning about the prodigious blast of Aaron Judge testing the stadium limits here in Seattle. It's 5-1 Yankees. after this from Aaron Judge. When you almost catch a bomb like that, you become a celebrity in your section. We just had John Sterling come into the booth between innings and say, all the years I've been doing games here, I don't think I've ever seen anybody hit the ball in the upper deck there, never mind almost to the last row. GMC scoreboard, it's now 5-1 Yankees after that 3-run blast. Number 31 on the year from Judge. He now has 4 ribbies on the night and 72 for the season. And Sabathia has settled down after 49 pitches the first 2 innings. Needed just 25 to get through the last 2 and ahead 1-2 here. We're still trying to find out the footage of that home run. Meaning how long it went. That's poked down the right field line, foul.
It almost looked like even Aaron Judge wanted to watch it a little bit. I mean, you catch a hanging slider like that and you launch it that high. He almost like leaned back and had a little expression and then said, okay, let me run the bases.
You know, Meredith Marakovich did that interview with Aaron at the end of the first half, and he said, she asked him, are there some that even impress you? She said, there's some where I kind of, yeah, we'll take a second to look at it, or, whoa, hey, surprise myself. Swing and a miss as Valencia chases.
Second baseman, Robinson.
Now here is CeCe showing Aaron Judge where the ball landed.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better, CeCe.
That was exactly what everybody was thinking.
The expression, everything.
See that little guy up there through the telescope? Yeah, that's where it went. I think everyone can stop worrying about the post-home run derby slump now.
I mean, that's about as much as you'll see Aaron Judge admire a home run. I mean, it was like a half a second. So he gets back in the dugout and people have to tell him where it landed.
Right, he didn't even get to actually see where his work finished up. Chopped weakly to second. Castro casually with the glove for the second out.
And Sabathia much sharper now, without a doubt. All of his pitches have better location, better movement. First couple of innings, you know, and that's one thing. It's always the first inning or the first couple innings for a starter. Sabathia no different and has struggled early this year in first innings, but you can see progressively from the 27 pitch second inning. Well, he's working it now. He's in a groove. We talked about this being his home away from home. He pitches so well in his career numbers at Safeco Field. 9-1 record and 13 career starts out here with a 2.09 ERA.
You're right, David. He has settled in beautifully after kind of grinding through stranding runners.
Never panic with a guy like Sabathia. His pedigree, competitiveness, and ability to adjust.
Great change up there. He's been incredible on the road over his last 5 starts. The ERA sub-1. Now, there has been, we've done some digging on this, and as far as we can gather, there's been one ball ever hit out of the stadium, but it was during batting practice, and it was by this man, Nelson Cruz, in the same spot. Not in a game, though. And that came last summer.
Well, the configuration of this ballpark, as you see Edgar's corner right there, to even hit it in the upper deck is a real blast. I mean, it's very far back. The upper deck in left field set back quite a bit. And there's a middle deck in between, kind of a smaller standing room only middle deck.
And Aaron Judge may have broken StatCast with that for the moment. Everybody's wondering, well, how far did it go? There's no confirmed distance yet.
You rarely see any home runs in that upper deck at all, much less, as you said, Ryan, up to the top row. It's ridiculous.
Because as you were talking about, David, it's set back quite a ways from the wall in left field. As Sabathia fans Cruz, and he has retired 8 straight. At Yankee Stadium on Friday night, July 28th, when the first 25,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees collectible cup, courtesy of Premio Foods. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Aaron Judge's unrecordable bomb to left field. Still the chatter here at Safeco as the Yankees have a 5-1 lead in the top of the 6th.
Well, I think I can reasonably guess that the first number was a 5. 500 feet and something. I feel pretty reasonable with that.
I think that feels safe.
500 and something feet on that home run. 500 feet high and 500 feet far.
Popped up. 1 down. Now the blast against the Orioles at Yankee Stadium, which nearly went over the bleachers in left field, was 495 feet. The interesting thing about not having the official distance is that means it's open to legend.
Exactly, like Mickey Mantle back in the day, that 550-foot shot supposedly he hit.
That was still rising as it hit the facade.
Well, let me just say this. It's a good thing the roof is open tonight. Because like in Miami during the home run hitting contest, he hit the roof that wasn't supposed to be hit. So obviously here in Seattle, great weather. The roof is open, the retractable dome. NASA engineers were supposedly interviewed to come up with the design in Miami on that roof. NASA engineers and algorithms. He still hit the roof. It was supposed to be too high to hit twice. But that thing might have hit the roof here if that was closed. I mean, I'm not joking.
No, it actually might have. It was as high as it was far. Headley lines that to left. His second hit of the game.
Clint Frazier on the night has had an impact on this game with the glove and the dive. And the bat. That ball was hammered the other way off the wall for a double.
Added in some base running as well, tagging on a fly ball to center to set up the Yankees' second run, going from second to third. He's been an exciting player.
Yeah, join the list of the baby bombers, right? And start thinking about a nucleus in a core 4 or a core 5 or maybe even more starting to develop here. Okay, Severino, Judge, Gary Sanchez,
Frazier.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, hey, kid can play.
He hasn't looked overwhelmed at all. Look out.
Well, no doubt a purpose pitch there. I mean, if you're going to knock somebody off the plate, you prefer it's not head high. I don't think Frazier was a threat to get hit there, but you could tell it got his attention by the look on his face.
Good swing from Frazier as he fouls it off. I was talking with Marcus Timms about Frazier, and he said, you know, I didn't realize he really doesn't chase. And that's something that stood out to him, just the quality of at bat time after time and the discipline. Waiting for his pitch, fighting off pitchers' pitches.
It's part of the process, getting to know Clint Frazier. He's only 22 years old. He admittedly, when he came over in the trade last year, at the trade deadline around this time, a little later, that he pressed a little bit in his first showing in the Yankee minor league system.
Said he was trying to prove he was worth the value of Andrew Miller. Battling here. Frazier smokes that to left. It'll hang up for Gamble for the final out at the top of the sixth. Provided two of the most prodigious blasts we've ever seen. Of course, the one at Yankee Stadium against Baltimore, and then tonight, nearly leaving Safeco Field with a majestic blast. And this replay brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things. Oh, they are definitely happening here.
Some serious hang time. Over 5 seconds, maybe 6 seconds of hang time.
Just waiting to see where it came down. 5-9-0 for the Yankees, 1-4-0 for Seattle. Now, Sabathia has retired 8 straight Mariners after grinding, laboring, and stranding several Mariners base runners through the first 3. CC has found a rhythm. Settled in nicely. Now, usually CC doesn't pitch well on his birthday. 0-3 with a 6.99 ERA coming into this game. But bucking the trend tonight in Seattle. Nice off-speed delivery there. Meanwhile, Tommy Kahnle is up in the Yankee pen. In the Seattle pen is Emilio Pagan. He's throwing for the Mariners. Count full now on Seager. Swing and a tip not held on to, just popped out of the glove of Gary Sanchez. Dave, they're gonna, somebody I bet, and I don't know if it would be accurate, somebody's gonna take a tape measure out there.
Well, there's other ways. I mean, occasionally you'll see, I'm a huge fan of StatCast, but sometimes that will happen. I mean, sometimes home runs down the line, I've been told, and sometimes they don't pick them up. That was so high and so far, and pulled a little more.
And StatCast did give out official word, because obviously everybody's waiting. Well, how far was it? How far was it? And their official word was they just did not track that home run.
The legend grows.
Seager battling Sabathia here to lead off the 6th, as the pitch count has climbed to 97. And he walks Seager. And that, I believe, is going to do it for Sabathia. And you can see CC not thrilled with that decision, as Joe Girardi comes and gets the baseball from him. So Sabathia gives up just 1 run through 5. He's responsible for the runner on first. Here comes Cano. Tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank NA. Andrew Moore has given up 5 runs thus far through 6 innings. CC goes 5+, scatters 4 hits and 3 walks while allowing just 1 run. He is responsible for Seager on first and striking out 5. And you could see CC was not pleased with being taken out of this game. He had found an excellent rhythm in the 4th and 5th that retired 8 straight entering the 6th.
He did, you know, and obviously it's a leadoff walk, and that's an easy conversation to have. You love the competitiveness, you know. And Joe Girardi, hey, I've got 4 guys that throw 100 miles an hour in the bully. I'm going to use one of these guys right now. And oh, by the way, you're 37 years old now. You're not 27.
And at 98 pitches after that battle from Seager.
And we need you for the long haul, big fellow.
So here's Tommy Canely. And there's that cheese David was talking about. Oh, and 2.
98 on the heater, 88 on the slider. He's been a strikeout machine this year, averaging over 15 strikeouts per 9 innings, has Tommy Canely. Among the league leaders.
Yankees bullpen featuring 3 of the American League's top 6 relievers in strikeouts per 9. Canely is 3rd. Dellin Betances is 1st on that list. Aroldis Chapman is 6th. Ooh, that is a well-located 1-2 fastball. And the fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios. 98 miles an hour on that delivery from Canely.
I would say that Haniger has a good eye, but I think he just could pull the trigger on that. That was really close.
Goodbye.
One of those 2 had to be called a strike. The other one's high, then this one can't be low. Another look from the side. Looked pretty good to me. Indeed. On the black at the knees.
Gerard Dyson will pinch hit for Heredia. Heredia got the start with the lefty Sabathia on the mound. Pop back here. And just in front of us for strike 1. You were ready, David.
I was ready to pounce.
Yeah. Cat-like out of the chair, even the lean forward.
It was the angle. We had the right angle. It was coming. Just didn't make it.
Looped behind 3rd. Gregorius will drift over for the 2nd out. I was talking to David Robertson today, who has just been all smiles since coming back. He's just constantly talking about how excited he is to be back. And he was saying, I told Joe Girardi Wherever you want me. Any place you want to use me, go for it. We have a squad. I'm ready to go. And we started going over the guys in the bullpen, and he quick jumped in and said, hey, do not sleep on Tommy Kahnle. This guy is nasty. So obviously Robertson and Betances and Chapman we're all very familiar with, but as Sanchez has trouble there, Seager will go to second. The throw down not in time.
Another off-speed pitch. Probably that's a slider, and that's a pass ball. Sanchez is going to take some getting used to learn the stuff of his new relievers, the power arms that they have.
And it is indeed a pass ball.
The good movement on that slider that fooled Sanchez.
Lifted in the air to left. Frazier under it. And the inning is over. So Kahnle retires all 3 batters he faces and strands Seager to end the 6th. Already seen a dozen Major League debuts in our original series Homegrown. The path to pinstripes has captured the calls. Don't miss an all-new episode next Friday at 11 o'clock and follow your favorite baby bombers on their way to the show only on Yes. I know how much you guys connect with and love these young players, and we have incredible access to them at the minor league level, so you definitely want to check out Homegrown. It's really cool stuff. Gerard Dyson in center field, taking over for Heredia. Emilio Pagan in relief of Andrew Moore. And he will face the top of the Yankees order, Gardner, Sanchez, and then the man of the evening, Aaron Judge. The Cadillac scoreboard, 5-1. The Yankees lead the Mariners. Gardner singled and scored on the 3-run blast from Judge. High fly ball, shallow right, long run for Haniger. He gets there in foul ground for the first out.
Gary Sanchez had that single in the 5th that set up the big bomb for Aaron Judge.
Yep.
Good piece of hitting on a fastball and off the plate. He got a line drive to left field out of it.
Came into this game 3 for his last 20, but has walked, singled, and scored. And now tomahawks that, but right at Seager for the second out. And here is Aaron Judge. If you missed it, well, try and track it. What a catch by that fan.
That was actually, he jumped up and caught it. That was over the back row. That was, you know, if nobody's there, that would have gone over the back row.
That was a sensational catch by that fan on a ball that nearly went out of the stadium. Big swing there, 2-2.
can see just above the belt. Pretty decent velocity on both the pitch and the swing.
Here's the 2-2. And the count is full on Judge, who already has 4 runs batted in tonight. A sac fly to deep center in the 3rd, and then that untrackable home run to the back wall of the bleachers, the upper deck and left. Here's the payoff. Ball 4, and Judge is on via the walk with 2 outs here in the 7th.
Single in the 2nd. You know, Holiday swung the bat well. Hard contact tonight.
David Robertson getting ready to make his return. Have not seen him yet in this 2nd stint. Was up a few times yesterday. Getting ready to pitch the 7th tonight. You're right, David. The swing just looks better from Holiday tonight. And we have seen hard contact, the base hit, the smoked shot right off of Moore up the middle that turned into a 1-3, but was really scalded. He entered this game 3 for 32 since his return. Judge goes, Holiday swings and misses, and that will end the inning. So the Yankees leave 1 on. We go to the bottom of the 7th. take a look at the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 5-9-0 for the Yankees, 1-4-0 for the Mariners. CC Sabathia goes 5 innings, limits damage, found a rhythm late. Andrew Moore gives up 5 runs. Aaron Judge's prodigious 3-run homer is the story of this game. And Clint Frazier, an RBI double. And here is David Robertson in his first appearance since the trade. Warmed up a few times yesterday, said no effect on him, he's all good. And having another great season. 47 strikeouts in 33 1/3 innings and has allowed just 21 hits. And starts Zunino with strike 1.
Second time around. The guy who never wanted to leave, and the Yankees had to make a choice back then when D-Rob was a free agent along with Andrew Miller. They chose to sign Andrew Miller. David Robertson got a nice deal with the White Sox and lived up to his billing. And the Yankees have wanted him back for a long time.
They have him now, and the first batter he faces in stint number 2 is a strikeout for David Robertson as we check back in with Bob Lorenz.
The shortstop, Dean Segura.
All right, Bob, thank you. (5-1) Yanks in front of the Mariners with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th as Bob keeps tabs on everything else going on around the majors. He'll of course have the WB Mason post-game show for you on Yes After Dark along with Meredith Barakovitz. Robertson's second most strikeouts as a reliever in Yankees history. Only Mariano Rivera with more. David, sometimes we see relievers have good years, great years, then an A year. I mean, Robertson has been so consistent. He has never allowed more hits than innings pitched. His strikeout numbers always far exceed 1 per inning.
It's a really solid career. You're right, Ryan. Career 2.95 ERA and 555 games pitched. 732 strikeouts and 552 1/3 innings pitched. Eye-popping numbers.
Segura is just able to hold up. Looking to close the roof, huh? They don't want to give Judge another chance. Hung on to by Sanchez, strike 3. As Robertson has retired the first 2 batters that he has faced.
Well, hanging around Mariano Rivera all those years, you can see a little cut action on his fastball. And, you know, Robbie's always had an excellent delivery, tight leg kick, and then great extension. Look at him fully extend his lead leg, which lengthens out that stride, which helps him release the ball closer to home plate. Great extension on the arm side as well.
This is what Brian Cashman had in mind when making this deal. Joe Girardi comfortably taking Sabathia out with no outs in the 6th. Canely, bing, 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 and now Robertson has retired the first 2 as this one is headed back towards us again, just over our heads.
I think that's the pitch that's gotten a little bit better since he left the Yankees, that knuckle curve that he throws. I think he's throwing a little more often than we remember from his Yankee years, and very effective with it.
Strike 3. Robertson strikes out the side in his return. Pristine inning for David Robertson in stint number 2. City FC clash with the Chicago Fire at home in the Bronx. Don't miss this crucial conference battle kicking off tomorrow at 2. Presented by Etihad Airways right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, we have moved into the 8th inning. Yankees trying to lock down game 2 of this series after winning the first last night behind Luis Severino 4-1. They have a 5-1 lead. At the top of the 8th as the roof continues to close and Castro continues to rip. This time he finds a hole in left center and a base hit to lead off the 8th. Now, David, there's starting to be some distance floated around on Twitter in regard to the Aaron Judge home run. Mariners PR estimated that Judge's home run was 415 feet using the old-fashioned way of measuring home runs, comparing to pass blasts at Safeco, but that just does not feel right based on where that ball landed. Seager gives it a look.
Well, he did pull it a little more. So obviously, as you know, the configuration of the stadium, it's 331 down the line, 401 in center. So it was more towards the foul pole.
Since it's unofficial, I think we keep going with the legend.
Yeah, it's up for speculation right now. Your guess is as good as mine.
Didi with 2 more hits. Kellen Betances getting ready to go. He worked last night. Gregorius smokes that to right center. A base hit, his third of the game. And he is on everything right now. The Yankees have first and second and nobody out.
Yeah, another on the button line drive from Didi. He goes out and hooks it over the second baseman's head. Good play coverage. Came into this at bat batting .299 on the rise. That looks like he's back up to 300 now. A 3-for-4 night.
Here's Todd Frazier. 0 for 3. Take strike one. Didi, by the way, now 9 for his last 14.
Batting average up to 302 now with the 3-for-4 night.
Hit hard to third. Seager to second for one, and an easy turn for Cano. A double play off the bat of Todd Frazier.
They got a good pitch to hit, put a good swing on it, but hit it in the ground. And right to the third baseman for around the horn.
Headley a couple of hits tonight, doubled and scored in the third, a single in the sixth. Starlin Castro on third with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. Rolled slowly to second. Easy for Cano, and that will end the inning. So the Yankees strand one as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper takes a tour of the Starbucks Roastery here in Seattle. Then talks baseball over a cup of Joe. Catch a new episode Sunday at 8 only on ES. Meredith Morakovitz told us yesterday that was actually an awesome experience. They're going to be opening one in New York. You got to check out Joe in his element because he's a coffee maven on the Joe Girardi Show. Dylan Betances in after a 13-pitch, 3-strikeout 7th from David Robertson, an effective 6 from Tommy Kahnle, which he retired all 3 batters he faced in relief of CeCe. Here is Dylan. He worked last night, loaded the bases, but was able to emerge unscathed.
And Joe Girardi taking no chances. He had Adam Warren warming up a little bit last inning with a 4-run lead.
On the Hyundai scoreboard, 5-1, Yankees lead the Mariners.
Interesting to see if he maybe saves Warren for the 9th here in a non-save situation if it currently stands as is, or would he go to Chapman? Got some new toys to play with.
Chad Green a possibility perhaps as well.
Talking with Dave Sims, who works out here with the Mariners now, been out here for 8 years, still keeps his apartment in New York. He's a New Yorker. And talking to him about Robinson Cano and out here in the All-Star game and the home run he hit.
That is fair and past the diving head lead down the first base line. It'll kick out to Judge, and it is a double to lead off the 8th for Robinson Cano.
You could see the fastball ends up down and in, and Robinson's so quick. Just keeps it fair past the diving Headley. A good effort from Chase Headley, and you see that was clearly fair. And Dave Sims seemed to be irritated, you know, to finish that story as we get another look just inside the line and over the bag. No doubt about it, it was fair. Robinson Cano hit the, won the All-Star Game MVP. There's Dave Sims, a great guy, been around a long time.
Terrific guy and always rocks a beautiful hat.
So he was irritated because, it's always with Robinson Cano, the ex-Yankee, that won the MVP rather than, Seattle Mariner Robinson Cano. So
yeah, he's been here a while now.
You play for the Yankees, you're always an ex-Yankee.
That's true.
It is the Yankees, but yeah, I could understand how that would bother some people out here. It certainly bothered David Sims.
Cruz just waved at a breaking ball in the other batter's box. You see the numbers for Cano. And everybody wondered, well, what's going to happen to the power when he gets out to Seattle? He's actually averaged more home runs per season out here. Of course, early on in Cano's career, the numbers were a little lower, so that lowers the Yankee overall number. But has not yet been back to the postseason since coming to the Mariners. And here was that home run in extra innings in the All-Star game.
Familiar sweet swing from Robinson Cano.
Swing and a miss. Cruz down on strikes.
Yeah, after some feeble swings at break and stuff, Dellin says, all right, let me rear back and challenge him up the ladder, and gets it done. You know, if you can throw the ball as hard as a lot of these relievers can, and you're not using the top and above the strike zone, then you're doing it wrong. The four-seam gas at the top or above the strike zone is so hard to hit. So hard to catch up to for major league hitters. Always has been, always will.
Seems like it's hard to lay off of as well for so many major league hitters.
You see it so well coming in. I think that's one of the things that Chapman has gotten away from over the last few outings.
That was a gorgeous curveball from Dellin. Check in with Meredith.
Well, Ryan, David had mentioned Aroldis Chapman, and he has not looked like himself lately. I spoke to him in the clubhouse after the game last night, and he said since coming off the DL, he's felt a little bit lost, and he hasn't been as sharp, but he's not worried. He wouldn't say that he's frustrated, but it's definitely something that he's not used to, that lack of command and lack of control. But he does think things are moving in the right direction. Last night, he felt like his slider was a little bit better, and that's the key, to just keep working, keep going out there. And he feels like his fastball and the command and that could still get a little bit better, but was overall encouraged. And as you see, Betances fan one more right here. With the bullpen now, all the parts are pretty much interchangeable according to Joe Girardi, with the exception of Aroldis Chapman. He made a point today to say he will remain our closer, but Betances could potentially come in the 7th depending on where they are in the lineup or the situation. He feels as though he can use Robertson in the 7th, 8th, or 9th should Chapman need a day off.
It sounds like they're all going to be on guard, basically 6th inning on. Thank you, Meredith. When it comes to Canely, Robertson, Betances, you look at matchups. And one of the things that Joe talked about a lot today as well was something you brought up last night, David, that his righties can get lefties out.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about matchups. Let's not forget about Chad Green and Adam Warren. You know, when you have consecutive days that your big guns get used, you have no problem throwing those guys out there in the 7th and 8th either. Maybe even close if need be. Robertson certainly is probably your second closer right now. But you have interchangeable parts now, top to bottom almost.
And the bullpen has been very good over these last 10 games compared to the previous 17, when it was at the heart of the struggles that the Yankees were experiencing. There's a strike as it's fouled back. Cano always having some fun chatting when he's on the field. Another good curveball, and it's 2-2.
Betances looks good tonight. Very sharp, under control. His mechanics have looked much smoother than we've seen recently.
Here's the 2-2. Line drive, base hit right field. Judge comes up with it, and Cano is going to stop at 3rd. So runners on 1st and 3rd now with 2 outs for Gerard Dyson.
Well, after all the good pitches, kind of hangs one, a roller. You know, rarely do you see Betances throw breaking balls that roll up there, and that one did. And the right call from Robinson Cano, never been known for his speed. Down 4 runs, and Aaron Judge has got a cannon in right field. Word is out.
Strike 1. Broken bat, looper to third. Frazier there, inning over. But Betances gets through the 8th. We go to the 9th.
For the WB Mason postgame and get a complete recap of this game along with reaction from the key players and thoughts from Joe Girardi on the manager's report. That's all coming up right here on Yes.
Well, it'll be 9-1-2 for the Yankees in this top of the 9th inning. Clint Frazier helped get the offense started back in the 3rd, driving in the Yankees' first run with an RBI double, then tagging aggressively from 2nd to 3rd on a fly ball to center and scoring their 2nd run.
And there's your answer. Adam Warren will come out and pitch the 9th with a 4-run lead as it stands. McCainley, Robertson, and Betances all pitched a scoreless inning and struck out 6 of the 9 outs.
What the Yankees have in mind. Even his takes look good.
You just want to see more, don't you? I mean,
yeah.
it's like Clint Frazier. You just, wow, I want to see more. Like a lot of these Yankee players. So highly touted, but I think most of the scouts thought maybe he wasn't quite ready yet. He needed a little more time in the minors. Well, some guys just get to the big leagues and they light up.
Frazier drives that to right field, hit well, but right at Haniger for the out. David, is there something to guys also, not that Frazier hasn't been there that long, but getting sort of bored with their scenery in the minor leagues? Like, for example, maybe what we're seeing with Mateo, where he was in Tampa for a long time. He goes to Double-A, and he has been raking since getting to Trent.
Yeah, there is something to be said for the adrenaline rush that you get, and especially in Mateo's case. You know, playing in Tampa all summer long, it's hot. He spent a couple of years there in Tampa. He spent spring training down there, and going to Double-A, playing in front of larger crowds in a different stadium has really helped him.
And we're talking, of course, about Jorge Mateo, the number 3 prospect now in the Yankees system.
I know you talked to Caleb Smith the other day, and the adrenaline rush in his debut. He was throwing the ball 97 miles an hour.
Right.
That's, you know, that's a top end velocity for him.
He was joking about it, saying, you know, every start or two I might touch 95, maybe once in a blue moon 96. He had a sheepish smile about hitting 97 a couple of times in that debut, coming out with so much adrenaline out of the bullpen.
the coaching too. I mean, the Yankee system is well coached top to bottom, but you know, I said it before, and I think it bears repeating. I think the Yankee coaching staff, and particularly, you know, Alan Cockrell and Marcus Thames, you know, I think have done a great job on the hitting side. That somebody deserves a lot of credit for turning Aaron Judge around from last year to this year, and his approach and the changes he's made. And everything you hear Aaron Judge talk about, I've heard Alan Cockrell preach over the last couple of years since he's been here. I think that guy's a good hitting coach. I think he deserves credit. The adjustments he's had Clint Frazier make already have paid off. The work with Aaron Judge, as I mentioned. Starlin Castro this year. Aaron Hicks.
Yeah.
Big turnarounds after spending some time with these guys. I mean, give credit where credit is due. We don't talk about him a lot.
Yeah, you're right about that, and he does deserve that credit.
The previous Yankees hitting coach Kevin Long was a good guy. We all talked about him a lot, and he deserved credit too when he did a great job.
But these hitters really like working with Alan Cockrell, as well as Marcus Thames.
Well, Alan Cockrell spent 13 years in the minor leagues and finally got a cup of coffee in the big leagues, a proverbial cup of coffee at 33 years old.
That's smoke, but right to first. Nice snare by Valencia, who's playing a really good first base this season. 2 down.
Almost guarding the line too as Gardner gets robbed here. Turns on it, smokes it. Can't help but think, hey, what are you doing playing over there? Why are you guarding the line? That's what I'd be thinking if I'm Brett Gardner.
You're not supposed to be there.
That's a double. What are you doing?
You're not playing no doubles, down 5-1. Sanchez has looked better tonight. A walk, a scorched single, and a ripped line out to third. Flew out to deep center in his first at bat. It's that hard. Nice pick there by Segura on the hop to throw out Sanchez and end the inning. It'll be Adam Warren coming on to try and end the game. Of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Well, David, we have a new home run distance estimate from the Mariners. We'd heard the one earlier where they used the old school tactic, thought it was about 416. Now they said based on going back and looking at a Mike Zunino grand slam and where it landed, they believe Aaron Judge's was somewhere around 440 feet.
Well, the fact that it was pulled, you know, as we're looking right there in the general area where it landed up in the top row, it was past the top row. Yeah, the fact that it was pulled a little bit shortens up the distance. Somebody's reported on Twitter that a Yahoo app, sports app, had it at 455. So yeah, I guess you go in the mid fours. It was just so high, and now that the roof is closed, I'm wondering it would have been pretty close to hitting the roof. That's how high it was. That's such a majestic shot as you see the numbers for Adam Warren on the year.
David, I was thinking the same thing. Looking at the closed roof, I am not sure if that ball wouldn't have hit it.
To talk to some Mariner guys and see if there's any balls that have hit the roof here, either during the game or batting practice. That's what they thought in Miami, too.
Fought off into left, a base hit for Gamble to start the ninth. Let's take a look at that Land Rover drive of the game off the bat of Aaron Judge.
A hanging slider that Aaron Judge just leaned back and murdered. And yes, it's the very definition of the Land Rover drive of the game.
Zunino 0 for 3. Hit hard to short, could be 2. 6, 4, 3. It's 2. And the Yankees 1 out away from taking the first 2 in Seattle.
The shortstop, Segura.
Oh, 0-1 on Segura. As Warren continues to look so sharp since coming off the DL. Yankees 11-1 in their last 12 games here at Safeco Field, and out away from improving to 12-1.
And the Yankees bullpen so deep, you can reduce the game to 4 innings. Your starters only got to go 4. You get Ward and Chad Green in there, and then Tommy Kahnle. New school. All the power guys are in the bullpen. All you need is a little soft toss and lefty to start the game and give you 3 or 4.
Made it an easy decision for Joe Girardi to come and get CC Sabathia after the leadoff walk in the 6th.
Yeah, no doubt. 5 and fly for Sabathia. Another good start. Sabathia has allowed 1 or 0 earned runs in 9 of his 16 starts this year.
And on the brink of improving to 9-3 on the season. And the Mariners are down to their final strike. You know, David, we need to quickly say that on the East Coast, it's one of our teammates' birthdays. Meredith Marakovits. Her birthday July 22nd, so while it may be 10 p.m. here in Seattle, in New York, it's party time for Meredith.
Very nice. Happy birthday, Rocky.
Gregorius eats it up before it eats him up, and that is the ball game. 5-1, the Yankees win it, and they have taken the first 2 of this 4-game set in Seattle. Excellent work out of the Yankee bullpen. A strong start from Sabathia and an unforgettable blast from Aaron Judge.
Well, good pitching from the Yankees. Severino last night. Sabathia doing his job, making adjustments. Good bullpen work. Seattle club came in hot, and they've got a good lineup. So the Yankees pitching has passed the test.
We will come back to wrap things up from Seattle in a moment after a 5-1 Yankees win their second straight here in Safeco.